it's just there waiting for us. And it's like, do we want to get there though?
Yeah, the golden chalice is on the mountain. Which route are we gonna take to go get that motherfucker?
Always seen it.
But did either one of you see this going this far, 30 years?
No.
Who's the champion? We the champion. I the champion.
We're the champion sound. Forever ready if there's ever a problem. Haters don't want none till I move with caution.
And you could never stop running when you see me pop. When we spit it, you feel a little hesitation. You're so brittle. Who's the champion? We the champion. I the champion.
With the champion sound.
Being here 30 years later, I gotta send a salute to Rough House and Sony for taking that chance on us, you know, and letting us do us. Because, you know, I remember hearing the stories from other artists that we were friends with at the time, and some of them still are. They would always complain about how the label is making them do some shit they don't want to do.
They let us be us.
They let us
100%.
be us, whether it was a win or a loss.
And I remember,
At
man,
all times,
I remember I turned the samples into Chris Schwartz, and he's like, we're not gonna clear these. This record will never come out. We're just gonna put it out and deal with it. And I'm glad he did.
Yeah. Joe was the
engineer. He
Yeah.
was the producer. Chris Schwartz managed Schoolie D.
Yeah.
He was a street promoter. He was promoting Eazy-E at the time. Easy Does It single.
Yeah.
Funk and Clyde wanted to give us $250.
Right.
They offered us $65,000. Chris and Joe.
75.
75.
Or 65.
It was
you're right.
65.
It was
And then
65.
Sen was like, man, we gotta roll with them.
I remember it was you who put your foot down. You said either we're signing with Joe or I'm going back to work at Kodak.
Yeah.
Because you were rocking the Kodak gig back then.
That's an untold story. People don't know that I actually had a good job at Kodak warehouse, and they were paying good. They hired me full time and everything. And this guy hits me up like, hey, I want to start this band, but I need you to quit your job and do this full time. I'm like, dude, I got full benefits. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hooked up right now.
I remember you were bringing all those little Kodak cameras home.
Yeah. So we were cruising around one night, Muggs and I, through that night, I asked him, you know, hey man, are you sure about this? I think like 4 or 5 times. And the 5th time I asked him, I think I annoyed the shit out of him. And he tells me, he goes, dude, yes, I'm sure about this. If you ask me again, I'm gonna park the car and we're gonna get over and fight right now. Because you're annoying me. Yes, I'm sure about it. Quit your job. You know, and that's how I was like, okay, all right. You know, I just followed, you know, what Muggs did, what Muggs said, and then we had people that, you know, that were in the industry already that, you know, I thought that we could do it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And we was working our whole lives just for that record. It was probably like 3 years worth of demos, right?
Yeah, 3 years before we actually put the first album out. And probably actually 5, because before we got signed, we were doing all sorts of different demos that never made the album when we were still finding our voices.
86 to 90, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When I crafted the nasal style, right? It was your brother and myself, we were messing with real estate. And just before that day, you had come to me and you said, hey man, we need to do something about your voice, man. I don't know, you might have to write rhymes for Sin Dog.
That was a game changer right
I was like,
we just put it all on the table, man. There was no holding back.
No, but that made the whole situation better, because like throughout, you always did that, like a challenge to step it up. And I think that's what sort of gave us that energy, is those challenges, you know what I mean? So I think the first big promo tour that we did was opening up for Naughty, right? And they had a tour bus, and we had the van.
We had a caravan, a soccer mom van.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy those times, but it was fun. I mean, I think that was a part of the whole grind. And that the 6-month period when they were thinking, oh man, I don't know about this album, because Funky Phil one was the first of the AA side that came out. And people liked it, but
we didn't want that to be the single.
Yeah, we didn't want
to kill a man and hand on the pump, remember?
Which was cool on their end that they made the AA side, because it allowed DJs the ability to flip it if they didn't feel the first.
And you know, the shit was always the B side though.
Yeah.
When they put that on, it was like, woo.
Public Enemy said it best. B side wins again. You know what I'm saying? I remember on that Naughty by Nature tour, we were we got a call from management at the time and said, hey, we got to pull you guys off a couple of dates. Don Yiner wants you to come to New York and film 2 videos, one for Kill a Man and on the Pump.
Saturday and Sunday we did.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't realize the momentum we were having there. I just figured, fuck, more work.
All the New York DJs started
It was
playing.
just hard work all the time.
It was just hard work
Every
all the
day
time.
we got up, we had breakfast, and we went to work every day. So when things started happening, I don't think I recognized that either, that we were in the beginning part of like having a monster song. And all of a sudden, it was bigger than anything we expected, I expected.
Yeah.
So that was special, you know?
It was the flip,
Yeah.
you know, and it was two things that actually that pushed that. It was one, the mixed show DJs. They salute to all of them because they actually gave us the first breath, right? And then Chuck D and the Bomb Squad with placing the song in the movie Juice, which was How I Could Just Kill a Man.
Yeah, perfect.
And
Perfect
that
timing.
right there was the second breath that pushed everything, I think.
And we came in, we wasn't even on the charts. We just moved up the charts all the way to number 3. You know what I mean? That first record took us down.
Yeah. What's crazy is when we did chart, we charted somewhere in the 200s or 170, 170 something. We were very low, very low. And then in that 6 months, we dropped off the chart. I don't know if y'all remember that. We dropped right the fuck off the chart. And when Kill a Man came, boom, we blipped right back on that chart. And then we released Black Sunday, and that album that we worked up and down is now right there, you know, it was either number 5 or number 3 when Black Sunday came out at number 1 on the top 200 Billboard charts.
Yeah, that was a special
But no one
moment,
had done
man.
that in hip hop. Dropped off the charts with one album, then come back up and release another album, and both those albums.
And then nobody had two albums in the charts at the time
Not
either.
that time, man.
I think the thing the festival that I actually saw the future of the band doing more festivals was when we first did Lollapalooza on the second stage.
Yeah.
And we rolled up to that second stage and there wasn't anybody there. There wasn't even flies flying around.
Yeah, our first show, I think it was Chicago.
Yeah. And then, like, as the closer we got to the showtime, more and more people kept coming up. Before we know it, we had 5,000 or 6,000 kids at a side stage going crazy.
Yeah, that was
And
crazy.
that was the first time I seen kids like walking on each other and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And I'm like, this is where I want to be. This is the route I want to go.
This was it.
This was it right here, you know?
That surprised me too, because I remember we were all looking at it like, damn, there's nobody here. Why are we on this tour? Do we belong?
Because we was popping.
Because we were popping,
and the shit was lit, and then we got there and it was crickets.
And then the swell happened right when you played the first song. Boom, everybody just somehow
We didn't know the
filled in.
flow of festivals yet. You know how they go from stage to stage to
We
stage
were
to
green
stage?
at that point, yeah. Lollapalooza, favorite festival tour for me, but festival,
Lollapalooza.
ultimately, it was Woodstock. And seeing the enormity of that crowd, I was like, oh my God. And then we were on a rotating stage, so when it rotated and I saw what was in front of us, like I almost froze. I was like, oh shit.
And there was millions of people watching around the world as well.
Yeah.
That was real, like I felt like we had, like, okay, we're here.
Yeah, because MTV,
You know?
I think, broadcasted that.
Yeah.
And
I've seen footage of that concert recently, and I was like, man, we really needed like some stage props, because
we did. We had
we
that.
could have landed that helicopter
the stage
on the
was
stage.
big.
It was
And
big.
then the joint should have been in the front.
Yeah, we had the big joint with the 2 fingers holding the big joint. That was our prop.
Man, they didn't.
That was-
that,
that
that
was
stage.
it.
That stage was too
Bobo
big. They
didn't
didn't tell
even
us
have
how
a
big the
riser.
stage was.
Yeah.
That stage was huge.
Yeah, it was a huge stage, and we didn't have shit on it. I was born and raised here in Los Angeles, so, you know, I've always just tried to be a representative of that. And I think being that our band, even though we broke on the East Coast, and I think that LA West Coast lifestyle sort of, you know, carved what we were doing because we were living it.
Yeah.
I also think that we had an advantage because we had Muggs.
Right.
And Muggs was not producing stuff with James Brown samples and everything that all the LA producers were doing.
It didn't sound West
It didn't
Coast.
sound it. So I always thought we had a like a little step up on people because we're gonna talk our LA stuff, but his production didn't sound like it was from LA.
We had something that was like a mixture that was like, what is this? You didn't mix New York and LA at that time yet.
Yeah.
It was distinctively different.
I think the everything was put together back when we were teenagers and we first met, started to hang out, and this was before any success or any of that, and we were just homeboys and we were friends, and we did the things that friends do together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think everything was made, you know, we did everything back then to ensure that we would still be friends today. And I would tend to think that even if we didn't have this band, like I would still be friends with you guys no matter what, you know what I mean? So,
you know, more than anything, I think the belief in each other. Because others did not believe in us. They thought we would fail. They thought, oh, you guys can't compete with this, that, and the other. You guys ain't gonna go nowhere. But we believed in each other, and I think
that made us tighter here.
That made us tighter, and here we are 30 years later.
There's a lot of people with no vision, just a mouth.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing though, I'll say that one of the things that I always admired about you is you always had the vision, like where to take us musically. And that made it easy for myself and Sendog just to sort of follow and tailor make everything to that musical vision.
Man, I knew like exactly where we needed to get, just like, but how do we get there?
Right.
It's there waiting for us. We just got to figure out how to get there. Just put the work in, make the right moves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just there waiting for us. And
Yeah.
it's like, do we want to get there though?
Yeah, the golden chalice is on the mountain. Which route are we gonna take to go get that motherfucker?
Always seen it.
but did either one of you see this going this far, 30
No.
years?
No.
Because I didn't, that's for sure.
Man,
you know?
I was gonna be happy selling 100,000 records, having respect from, you know, the motherfuckers that we got respect for, and I was cool. Man, I'm just starting to get good right now.
Yeah,
That's a real thing.
That's the real thing,
it's a
I'm
real
serious.
thing. Here we are 30 years later. I had no idea what we were in for.
Who's the champion? We the champion. I the champion.
With the champion sound.